Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to another webinar of the Signify Academy. This month's thematic will be Light as a Service, and my colleague Bart Bosman will tell you all about it. Bart, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much, Jaap. I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar, indeed, Signify Light as a Service. Thank you very much for joining. During the webinar, I will provide you with an introduction to Light as a Service, and I will focus on how Light as a Service can benefit your business and can be a strong contributor to the circular economy at the same time. To start, and I will be very brief, a quick introduction. I'm the Global Services Manager in Signify, responsible for professional services, lifecycle services, and managed services, of course, including Light as a Service, or also known as LaaS. When I joined Signify about 13 years ago, and at that moment we were still called Philips, the topic of Light as a Service that was enabled by the rapid development of LED lighting was rather new. It was rather new to the lighting business. Therefore, I was in the very lucky position to join this exciting journey from the very, very early days towards the mature services offering that Light as a Service is today. With many hundreds Light as a Service projects done today, Light as a Service is very, very relevant for today's businesses. And I can say that I am very happy to be part of this ongoing journey. A few words on Signify. Some of you may not know who we are as Signify, so a few words on our company before we start talking about Light as a Service. Signify is formerly known as Philips Lighting. About 7 years ago, we split from Royal Philips and a new company was founded called Signify. As such, we are the biggest lighting company in the world and are proud to say the world leader in lighting. We produce high quality, energy efficient lighting products, systems and services. We continue to service the entire value chain in the lighting industry. Our products are in 3 key areas: light sources, luminaires, and systems and services. And through these solutions, we are able to service a wide spread of markets like road and streets, office and industry buildings, hospitals, education and retail, just to highlight a few of our application areas. We are the #1 global leader in conventional LED and connected lighting systems and services. In 2024, we generated sales of 6.1 billion euros. We employ over 29,000 people in more than 70 countries over the world. Core to our business is sustainability. Not only our energy efficient portfolio, but also how we operate as a company. We have been in the Dow Jones Sustainability World Index since our IPO for 7 years now, and we have achieved the EcoVadis Platinum rating for 5 consecutive years, placing Signify in the top 1% of companies assessed. A few facts and figures to show you what we do in our company and how we do that. We do reinvest significant value in research and development. From our sales of 6.1 billion last year, actually more than 4% during 2024 was reinvested in R&D. We are the leader in LED lighting with over 20,000 patents, as you would expect, of course, as we have a strong position in developing and bringing new innovations, serving a growing market. LED now represents about 93% of our sales rather than conventional lighting. And I think that that clearly illustrates the large transition the industry has gone through during the last decade. We are the leader in connected lighting in the home, in cities and in the workplace. We have 144 million connected light points worldwide, end of last year. And through these connected light points, we create additional value for our customers. At the end of 2024, our circular revenues were at 35%. So, what does that mean? Essentially, this means that 35% of our products, our systems and services are designed and implemented with circularity in mind. Certainly, LaaS is an important driver for this. So I will come back on this during the webinar. We are proud to have a growing percentage of women in leadership positions. We are on track to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 40% by 2025 as part of our sustainability strategy. And through our Brighter Lives, Better World 2025 program, we aim to double our positive impact on the environment and society in 2025. Again, founded as Philips in Eindhoven, the Netherlands, we have led the lighting industry with innovations that serve professional and consumer markets for nearly 130 years. With our offering of high quality lighting products, systems and services, we have a clear purpose to unlock the extraordinary potential of light for brighter lives and a better world. This basically underpins everything that we do, from a strategy, go-to-market, how we serve our customers. Sustainability is core to our purpose, not only our innovative, environmentally friendly products, but also how we operate as a company. We are committed to achieving carbon neutrality and providing access to light for underprivileged and underserved communities. So let's talk now about light as a service. For sure, light is a must for any business, building or a city. But finding funds, the money to invest in a lighting upgrade might not be in the plans. So instead of making a major upfront investment to buy, install and manage a new lighting system, light as a service or LaaS provides an alternative. From the initial design and installation to operation and maintenance, LaaS allows businesses to invest in connected, energy efficient lighting while generating savings and optimizing the cash flow from the early beginning of the project. Signify has a long-standing relationship with Nexans. Nexans being a leader in cable systems and services in energy transition. Signify LaaS is the business model through which lighting renovations are enabled at many Nexans facilities during the past years. Next video describes very nicely the benefits of LaaS for this industrial customer. So let's have a look before we dive into the details.
As Europe is committed to reach climate neutrality by 2050, actually 35% of greenhouse gases emission reductions can be achieved by energy efficiency alone. So therefore, it is absolutely key to scale clean and energy efficient solutions across Europe. I work for BASE, a Swiss NGO, which is focused on designing actionable climate solutions which are disruptive, self-sustaining and replicable. Together with our partners Anesse, Agoria and EIT InnoEnergy, we are leading the Efficiency as a Service initiative. This initiative aims to scale the servitization model on energy-intensive application. So what is servitization? Is actually a shift from companies, instead of selling the assets to customers, they sell the output of those assets to customers. So efficiency as a service is an approach that can be applied to multiple technologies. Those include cooling, heating, batteries, but also lighting. And so we are here today to observe how Signify has deployed lighting as a service to Nexans, who achieved sustainable energy efficiency gains and climate impact through the solution.
Nexans is a key leader in design and manufacturing of cable system and services in energy transition. One of the reasons that we have partnered with Signify, it's really key to support our decarbonation journey.
What is important is that Signify, we are selling lighting solution. We have the LED technology. Is itself a way to reduce your consumption of energy. So if you use an LED lamp, you will reduce 50% your energy consumption. Now, when we talk about an industrial site, for example, a manufacturing site, if the customer wants to renovate his full lighting solution to move to LED, this is an investment. That's why we have been developing a solution which is called Light as a Service to our customers.
Le LaaS s'articule autour de 4 piliers essentiels. Le premier pilier étant la tranquillité du client de la phase de la conception jusqu'à la remise des clés et au-delà jusqu'à la fin du contrat. Nous assurons la maintenance, qu'elle soit préventive ou réparative. Le deuxième pilier étant lui lié à la qualité de la lumière et à son adaptation au site concerné. La manufacture qui est très spécifique, on a dû adapter notre lighting design. Le troisième volet est financier. Le LaaS permet, lui, bien évidemment, de transformer la CAPEX étant l'investissement, en OPEX, l'OPEX étant de la charge. Et le quatrième volet est un volet de sécurité pour les ouvriers, pour les personnes qui travaillent sur le site, dans le cadre de la mise en œuvre des missions qu'ils ont au quotidien.
The solution of LaaS can help Nexans to reduce and optimize our cost, increase the carbon footprint reduction, and improve the workers' conditions. And this is key for Nexans because we are combining these three elements and these three pillars in once. We optimize the cost on economical standpoint because we are using OPEX, so the charges, rather than CAPEX, and it allows us to reallocate this amount of money to some other investment.
Pour chaque site de Nexans, le fait d'avoir le LaaS permet effectivement d'avoir un financement qui est garanti par les économies d'énergie de l'éclairage. Nous arrivons sur la consommation totale du site. Nexans Suisse de Cortaillot a un taux entre 9 et 9,5% d'économie d'énergie totale du site.
On the carbon footprint, we initiated the project with 12 site Nexans through Europe initially. It helped us to reduce by 1,400 tons of CO2 equivalent for the overall in a given year. Out of which the main contributor is the historical site we have in Switzerland, Cortaillot, that's reduced by 300 tons equivalent CO2 emission. On the worker condition, it helps us to improve the safety definitely on site by increasing the light under the machine.
Un des grands points sur lesquels nous avons insisté, c'est dans l'amélioration de l'éclairage. Ce n'est pas que de remplacer un par un. C'est aussi de voir en fonction du poste de travail les lieux où il fallait plutôt réduire l'éclairage, les lieux où il fallait plutôt augmenter l'éclairage. Les retours que j'ai reçus de la part des collaborateurs et qu'ils étaient très satisfaits tant par la qualité visuelle que par les lieux et les positionnements de l'éclairage qu'on a fait, améliorant leur quotidien.
Bienvenue dans la partie administrative de notre site, à Nexans Suisse. Comme vous pouvez le constater, nous avons les éclairages LED qui sont en place. De par ma fonction, j'ai l'occasion de parcourir les usines et la partie administrative. Et je peux me rendre compte que grâce au LED, on a une meilleure qualité de travail, une meilleure visualisation sur nos écrans.
Je passe beaucoup de temps ici derrière un ordinateur et grâce à la technologie LED, en fait cette lumière chaleureuse, toute la journée on a toujours la même constante de luminosité.
Et dans les ateliers, nous pouvons aussi permettre aux opérateurs d'avoir un meilleur éclairage ambiant, ce qui nous permet aussi d'être plus performants dans notre travail. Et de ce fait, les LED sont une bien meilleure satisfaction au niveau de l'éclairage.
Au-delà des 4 piliers évoqués tout à l'heure, le LaaS peut permettre l'économie circulaire. Qu'est-ce que l'économie circulaire? C'est la capacité pour le client, à l'issue du contrat LaaS, de voir son produit installé, recyclé, réutilisé, mais pas simplement détruit. On comprend très facilement la capacité que peut avoir le LaaS pour un groupe de la taille de Nexans au niveau mondial de s'approcher vers les targets qu'ils se sont fixés en termes de développement durable au niveau groupe.
The collaboration with Signify through the initiative of EAS through BASE was the perfect example of how our supplier, who are an integral part of the Nexans ecosystem, can help us to achieve our goal through the E3 performance model. From an economical standpoint, first, by optimizing the cost, by reducing the carbon footprint from an environmental perspective, and as well improve safety for the worker condition from an engagement perspective. And this is key for Nexans site.
So we would like really to thank Nexans for their trust, and we are very proud of this achievement together. What is important for Nexans and Signify is that we all together share the same values in terms of sustainability, in terms of circular economy. And now I'm really looking forward for the thing to come and to expand this approach to further sites. Thank you so much again for your trust.
The initiatives of EAS is really about scaling this approach and about making a call to action for companies across Europe to implement this model, but also for customers to look at how the solutions is being deployed and to approach such suppliers to embed this solution.
In the video, what I would call 5 principles of light as a service are clearly demonstrated by the example of the industrial customer and what their challenges are. First, it's about savings. LaaS solutions help businesses reduce their energy cost through the application of highly efficient LED. On top of that, the connected lighting systems that add another layer of savings by the use of sensors, by the use of data. It also reduces the maintenance expenses, and without the upfront capital investments, this results in significant cost savings over the long term. Second, improved lighting quality. By using energy-efficient technologies and smart controls, LaaS solutions provide businesses with high-quality lighting that enhances visibility, comfort, and productivity in the workplace. For Nexans, an industrial customer, this translates into safety and productivity because of the improved lighting levels. Of course, for other customers in other businesses, high-quality light will have other benefits. Think about a retailer who wants to attract shoppers to the store with attractive lighting, or an office building that provides greater employee comfort and wellness by an improved lighting system and higher efficiency by using the data that the connected system has produced. Third element is sustainability and circularity. As mentioned, LaaS solutions support businesses in their sustainability efforts by directly reducing energy consumption and carbon emissions by the application of LED and advanced connected systems. However, on top of that, the business model of LaaS is defined in such a way that we can reduce the waste that is associated with the traditional business model and approach of lighting systems through a take, make, and waste circle. So, beside these direct benefits, the implementation of a new lighting system and to make sure that our customer business results are met can be a significant hurdle for any customer. With LaaS, we take an end-to-end approach to make sure the implementation of the new connected lighting system will be a hassle-free experience for our customers and provides a sense of peace of mind by putting clear performance commitments in place and report out on a regular basis on these commitments. So, let's take a closer look at what this all means. As Signify, on a global scale, we have a wide set of capabilities that come together, for example, in our LaaS projects. For these projects, we take an end-to-end service approach that starts with the plan and design phase of the project. We perform a scoping session, perform audits to assess what lighting is already there at the location, at the customer site. We check the current installations, but also check for the savings that can be achieved in the project through new lighting and/or a connected system. Our design teams create the lighting designs and the technical teams, the systems and the controls design. Finally, we assess the best business model for the customer, because it's always possible that depending on the customer needs, other financing, other services solutions than LaaS are a better fit for a specific customer. Once both parties are happy, we have the project management and the project execution teams that will coordinate the end-to-end project management of all activities. We'll decommission and remove the old luminaires. We deliver, we install and commission the new lighting installation. And after end-to-end testing, we hand over the system to our customer. So after everything is set up, we continue observation of the lighting to ensure everything runs properly. We check system operations, consult on faults and manage the content where necessary. We do that on-site or preferably remote through our connected system. Our recurring services include the maintenance and repair, if needed, of the lighting solution, optimizing the lighting performance throughout the term of the contract and verifying on the agreed performance. We make sure we train our customer employees on the connected systems to maximize the value that the system can bring. In the end, our Light as a Service project is a consolidation of all the capabilities that we have in our company, and that provides our customer a hassle-free experience throughout all phases of the project. Thomas Rauw is one of the leading Dutch architects, and we have been working with Thomas on the Light as a Service concept. He made a very interesting point on Light as a Service, and that is still very relevant today. He was very clear when he said, I'm not interested in your product itself, but I am only interested in its performance. And I only want to buy the light. I do not care about the lamps, the luminaires, or the lighting system. So this is a typical statement when we talk about a outcome-based performance contract, meaning the customer is interested in the value that the lighting brings, not so much the lighting itself. To make sure that we bring the value with our lighting as expected to our customers, for the LaaS projects we use performance commitments that we measure through the corresponding key performance indicators. The LaaS projects are based on the so-called outcome-based services. Through our recurring operations and maintenance services, and with the lighting design, the system design, the service design capabilities in our design teams around the globe, we guarantee a balanced set of outcomes. These outcomes are specified as the light levels that are laid down in our lighting designs, the energy savings, as we specify them in our TCO calculations, and the lighting uptime that will be met during the LaaS contract execution and duration. These outcomes are measured through a clear set of KPIs during the term of the full contract. It is clear that our performance commitments on light, energy, and uptime are clearly linked to the work that is being done in the early phase of the LaaS project, where we create the lighting, the systems, and the services design. Now, let's have a look at the finances of Light as a Service. With LaaS, a customer buys light rather than a lighting system, with no down payments, no upfront investments. The story about LaaS is instant payback, or in other words, it's a positive cash flow as of day one. If not possible from day one, at least positive cash flow during the full contract period. So what we try to achieve is here demonstrated by an actual example of a recent project in the UK. For this customer, the current energy and maintenance cost is about 83,000 euros per year. After the new lighting system is installed, the new energy cost is reduced to 18k. So we achieved significant energy savings compared to the old conventional lighting. And then we have the LaaS fee of 50k on top of that. So basically, the LaaS fee is the maintenance cost to maintain and operate installation, and the amortization of the investment that we did. If we then look at this LaaS project, this means that we basically have an instant saving of around 16,000 euros as of day one of the project. So the customer does not need to invest, we invest for the customer, and our customer has the instant saving. Of course, after the 10-year service contract term, the customer will have the full benefit, as he would also have with a CapEx model, assuming, of course, that the lighting system has sufficient lifetime left. This is very interesting for the customers that are positive cash flow driven and don't have the money available, or they don't want to invest their money in lighting. So what I want to demonstrate here is that this customer leaves the money on the table if they don't move into the LaaS direction. By now, we have done more than 20 projects with this customer. All their new lighting projects are based on light as a service. So if you consider that this example was a relatively small project, imagine the total impact that these projects have on the finances of this customer. Yeah, to conclude, one remark on the term of the LaaS or the financing term. A 10-year period may not always be feasible, but a short term of 5 or 7 years may be preferred. Again, the business case and the free cash that we can generate for the customer always depends on the details of the project. Note that the creditworthiness of the customer also play a role here. I want to spend a brief moment on an additional benefit of the LaaS financing model, and that is the off-balance treatment of the LaaS project. Because Signify remains the owner of the lighting system during the term of the LaaS contract, and thanks to our financing that basically turns the investment from a CapEx model into an OpEx model, and because of the unique setup of the Signify Light as a Service, the LaaS invoice is viewed as a true services expense for the company, for our customer. The customer can invest in what is core for their business, but the light as a service can be treated as off-balance financing. For many customers, this off-balance element of light as a service is very important for obvious reasons. Financial ratios stay at a more favorable level, and the profit and loss statement may be optimized because your LaaS fee is, of course, fully tax deductible. Though I do want to make one important disclaimer on this topic. Although Signify LaaS provides the option for off-balance, the accounting treatment in the end is solely dependent on the customer's decision. Signify will not and does not provide any accounting advice, nor will provide a guarantee on an accounting treatment. Just to be clear about this. The impact of LaaS on sustainability improvements, in particular CO2 savings through reduced energy consumption may be obvious. The switch to energy efficient LED lighting can easily generate savings of 50%. Adding a smart connected system to that and the energy savings can go up to 80% or even higher. On the other hand, fast innovation is creating waste, and waste is impacting the availability of materials, at least if we continue to consume as we have done so far, if we continue to use the models that we have used so far. To illustrate, think about your iPhone. This has an economical life of, let's say, 2 years, maybe 3 years, before it's being replaced by the next version. And compare that with the wired phone that we used to have in the 70s, the 80s, or the 90s. That was repaired and was basically never replaced, actually. Therefore, we talk about circular, cradle to cradle, etc. However, without the right business model, we're not getting anywhere. Because think about it. If we don't get the actual product back to the producer or the next user, we will change nothing. So at the moment that we do not look at a project as something that we own, but if we take it as a service, we can stop that take, make, waste circle, because the producers of the goods will have the responsibility and the ownership of the products. And through that services business model, as light as a service, we as the producer will make sure that we deliver and use the right products with the highest quality. Think about use longer, the highest efficiency, use less, and the best recycling, remanufacturing, or refurbishment options. Think about use again. LaaS and remanufacturing. Building owners, especially in industry or retail, for example, that installed their sites with LED luminaires, let's say 7 years ago, up to 10 years ago, and that reached their end of life, now face the question, what do I replace these products with or these systems with? Latest LED and controls technology allow for better experience, more energy savings, and further reductions, of course, of the carbon emissions. However, just taking out and recycling the old luminaires is not the most circular option that we must aim for. Building owners wonder if there is a way to reuse these old luminaires and contribute to their organization's circular ambition. So, driven by the sustainability ambitions of Signify and our customers, of course, we asked ourselves the question whether it is possible to reuse these LED luminaires that were installed 7 to 10 years ago in a scalable way. The answer came with our remanufacturing solution. With remanufacturing, in the first project, we basically replace the used products with new products in our customer site A, and we take the used product from customer site A, what we call the donor site. We remanufacture these luminaires to as new products in the Signify factory, and we use these luminaires in customer site B, what we call the destination site. The used luminaires from the donor site B are then remanufactured in the Signify factory, well, etc., etc. Oh, during the remanufacturing, we replace the electronic components that are end of life, like the driver, like the LED board, and we keep the components that are good to go for another life, like the housing or the wiring of the luminaire. Now, by combining the business model of LaaS and the remanufacturing service capabilities, we solve the ownership issue on one hand and provide the sustainable solution on the other side. So, yeah, before we move to a case study, a few facts on remanufacturing. First of all, important to understand that our remanufactured luminaires are considered to be as new products. As new means same light, the same energy performance as new products, the same lifetime and the same warranty conditions as the new products. What is different, however, is the environmental impact of the remanufactured products. Based on the projects executed by Signify, we were able to generate significant material savings between 30 and 70% depending on the product. And based on that, we could save 20 up to 60% CO2 emissions compared to the new products. On the website, you will find several case studies on LaaS, as well as this recent project with Rolls-Royce in the UK. This project in particular is interesting because it combines all the benefits of the LaaS business model with a circular remanufacturing solution. This particular project resulted in as new luminaires that originate from a donor site, the Rolls-Royce Derby warehouse, and were installed at another Rolls-Royce facility under a new light as a service agreement with the customer. Next to the impressive expected carbon reductions of 52%, the customer benefits from great quality lighting without the need for an investment through our hassle-free turnkey approach. Very interesting project. We spent a lot of effort in designing and producing circular products. We create environmental product declarations, do life cycle assessments, etc., etc. But always remember that this is only circular if you actually close the loop at the end of the life of the products. In order to meet the EU's climate and energy targets for 2030, it's vital that we direct investments towards sustainable projects and activities. So, yeah, to achieve this, a language and a clear definition of what is sustainable is needed. And this is why the common classification system for sustainable economic activities is created, also called as EU taxonomy. EU taxonomy allows financial and non-financial companies to share a common definition of economic activities that can be considered environmentally sustainable. In this way, it plays an important role in helping the EU scale up sustainability investments by creating security for investors, protecting private investors from greenwashing, and helping companies become more climate friendly. In EU taxonomy, light as a service is considered to be a circular solution if a number of requirements are fulfilled. Think about things like producer needs to remain the ownership of the goods. By default, we take back the product, we maintain the product, and we optimize the use. And finally, we receive a payment for the use of the products. The Signify definition and the setup of Light as a Service basically fulfills all requirements of EU taxonomy, and the LaaS proposition therefore can be classified as circular according to EU taxonomy. This again means that we can report our LaaS revenues as circular revenues, important for us, but also on the other hand, our customers can report the LaaS project as circular activity that are qualified under the EU taxonomy guidelines. Especially for our customers that have a clear sustainability agenda, this can be an additional advantage of Light as a Service. Last, not least, I want to touch on the topic of Light as a Service and connected lighting systems. Professional connected lighting systems bring energy savings up to 80% over conventional lighting systems, and of course significant reductions in lighting related greenhouse gas emissions. Additionally, connected lighting elevates the experience with advanced capabilities such as lighting personalization, indoor location services, environmental monitoring, etc. etc. Financing solutions can be a driver of the adoption of connected lighting. First, of course, because it may enable the customer to go for the higher total investment in the system to maximize their benefits. This can be an investment the customer does not want to do or is not able to do in a normal CapEx solution. The increase in energy and other savings that the customer has through a connected system can offset the slightly higher recurring Light as a Service fee and can generate additional cash flow for the customer. With cloud-based lighting management software, a LaaS provider such as Signify can remotely monitor, manage and control all of our customers' lighting assets through web and browser-based dashboards and software applications. So this will have, of course, a very positive impact on the efficiency that can be achieved in the maintain and optimize phase of the system and of the LaaS contract. About future-proofing, also think about important new regulatory requirements like EPBD. The Energy Performance of Building Directives is a European Union's main legislative instrument aiming to provide the improvement of the energy performance of buildings within the European Union. Lighting was once viewed as a standalone system. EPBD now officially recognizes it as a technical system that contributes directly to a building's energy performance. Building owners, facility managers, and developers who invest now in smart connected lighting solutions will not only ensure regulatory compliance, they'll be actively building towards a more sustainable and a more future-proof real estate portfolio. Therefore, customers that are confronted with the new requirement can finance their investment, be compliant with regulations, and at the same time lower their operating expense with the LaaS model. Of course, our financing structures provide the option to include recurring software services as well to reduce any risk for the customer and make it a pure hassle-free services model. Before we close the webinar, a final remark related to the availability of LaaS across the regions of the world. Please note that at this moment, Signify LaaS is only available in most European countries, as well as in some countries in the APAC region. If you want more details or if you want to know whether LaaS is available in your country, please do not hesitate yet to reach out to us. With that, I want to wrap up the webinar on Light as a Service. During the webinar, we have discovered the key elements and benefits of Light as a Service for businesses. We explored how LaaS promotes sustainability and circular lighting through remanufacturing, and we looked at the value of LaaS for connected lighting. Thank you very much for your interest in the topic, and I hope to see you again in the next webinar of Signify Lighting Academy.